Picture a port stretching across hundreds of football fields, cranes taller than 20-story buildings, moving containers every few minutes, trucks driving themselves in perfect formation, and almost nobody there. No dock workers, just machines coordinating with machines, moving hundreds of millions of dollars in goods every day. This is already happening, just 20 miles off the coast of Shanghai, and what China built here could reshape global trade. In 2017, China opened the Yangshan Deep-Water Port's Phase 4 terminal, became the world's first fully automated megaport. We're talking about a facility that handles more cargo in 1 year than entire countries export, and it does it with a tiny fraction of the workers traditional ports need. But here's what makes this truly remarkable. This is not just about replacing workers with robots. China built an entire artificial intelligence system, a sophisticated network of sensors, algorithms, and automation that coordinates everything. The port operates with minimal human intervention, and the implications of this technology go way beyond moving shipping containers. Let's start with understanding just how massive Yangshan really is. The entire port complex sits on artificial islands connected by the Donghai Bridge, one of the longest sea bridges in the world, at around 20 miles. You could drive across it for half an hour and still not reach the end. The Chinese government literally created new land in the middle of the ocean just to build this facility. Phase 4 alone, the automated section, covers millions of square feet. That's like stacking dozens and dozens of basketball courts side by side. The port complex has around 24 deep water berths where massive cargo ships can dock simultaneously. These aren't your average boats. We're talking about vessels longer than 4 football fields, some carrying over 20,000 containers each. Here's a comparison that puts it in perspective. Traditional ports might move a few hundred containers per acre per year. Yangshan moves several times that amount. The efficiency isn't just better, it's transformative. And the numbers keep getting bigger. When fully operational, Phase 4 can process millions of containers annually. To visualize that scale, imagine a line of trucks carrying those containers. That line would stretch across continents multiple times over. The total investment across all phases? Tens of billions of dollars. That's more than the GDP of many countries. China didn't just build a port, they built a statement about the future of global logistics. Now here's where it gets really interesting. How does a port this massive run with so few people? The system starts the moment a cargo ship enters Shanghai's waters. An AI-driven control center, staffed by just a handful of supervisors in a climate-controlled room miles away, takes over. The ship's arrival triggers a cascade of automated decisions. First, the AI calculates the optimal berth based on dozens of factors: the ship's size, cargo type, weight distribution, weather conditions, and even the tide schedule. It's solving a puzzle with thousands of pieces in milliseconds. Once the ship docks, the real magic begins. Massive automated cranes called Kui cranes spring into action. Each crane stands around 200 feet tall and can lift containers weighing many tons. That's like picking up several elephants at once. These cranes position themselves with millimeter precision, guided by sensors that can see in 3D. But the cranes don't just move containers randomly. The AI system knows exactly what's in every single box, where it needs to go, and the most efficient way to get it there. It's constantly calculating and recalculating routes based on real-time data. Then come the AGV's automated guided vehicles. These are driverless trucks that look like something from a futuristic movie. Yangshan has well over 100 of them, each operating around the clock, without breaks, without shifts, without bathroom stops. They navigate the port using magnetic guidance systems embedded in the ground and communicate with each other to avoid collisions. Here's the mind-blowing part. These AGVs coordinate in swarms. When one vehicle encounters an obstacle, it instantly alerts all the others, and they adjust their routes automatically. It's like watching a school of fish move together, except these fish weigh dozens of tons and carry cargo worth millions. The entire operation is controlled by what China calls a terminal operating system, powered by artificial intelligence and 5G networks. The AI monitors millions upon millions of data points every day, tracking equipment performance, predicting maintenance needs, optimizing energy consumption, and learning from every single operation. And this system gets smarter over time. Traditional ports might improve efficiency by a few percentage points annually through better training and procedures. Yangshan's AI improves itself constantly. It runs simulations during downtime, testing different strategies, learning what works and what doesn't. It's essentially teaching itself to be better every single day. Traditional ports are noisy, chaotic places filled with people. You'd see hundreds of workers operating cranes, driving trucks, coordinating shipments, checking cargo, A facility this size would typically employ thousands of workers per shift. Yangshan Phase 4 runs with a skeletal crew reports suggest fewer than a dozen people per shift in the control room. That's it. Those few people aren't operating equipment. They're monitoring screens, handling exceptions, and overseeing maintenance. The AI does everything else. That's a workforce reduction of over 90% compared to conventional terminals. Think about what that means economically. A traditional port can spend tens of millions of dollars annually just on direct labor costs when you factor in wages, benefits, insurance, and training for thousands of workers across multiple shifts. Yangshan's automated system eliminates most of that expense. But here's what makes this even more significant. Human workers get tired, they make mistakes, they need breaks, vacations, sick leave. Productivity drops during night shifts and in bad weather. None of those factors affect Yangshan. The port operates at the same efficiency at 3 a.m. in a thunderstorm as it does at noon on a sunny day. Chinese sources claim that Yangshan's automated terminal is around 30% more efficient than traditional ports and has dramatically lower container handling error rates. Some reports suggest less than one mistake per tens of thousands of moves. Traditional ports see far higher error rates. The precision is remarkable. And accidents? Traditional ports see regular injuries, falls, equipment malfunctions, human error causing damage. Yangshan has reported virtually zero serious accidents since opening. When machines follow precise programming, they don't have bad days. Now, there's an uncomfortable question here. What happened to all those jobs? China hasn't been transparent about this, but industry analysts estimate that automation at Yangshan and similar facilities could displace tens of thousands of dock workers across China's eastern ports over time. The government has promised retraining programs, but the reality is that a 50-year-old crane operator can't easily become an AI technician. This is the dark side of efficiency, and it's a preview of what's coming to industries worldwide. So why did China invest tens of billions of dollars to automate a port? The answer reveals something crucial about China's long-term strategy. First, there's the aging workforce problem. China's working-age population peaked in 2015 and has been declining ever since. By mid-century, China will have far more elderly people than young workers. Labor-intensive industries are becoming unsustainable. Automation is not just an option for China, it's a necessity. Second, there's the efficiency race. China handles more cargo than any country on Earth. Shanghai alone processes well over 40 million containers per year, more than the top US ports combined. Every hour of delay costs money. Automated systems eliminate bottlenecks that plague traditional ports. But here's the real reason. Control over global supply chains. Around 80% of global trade moves by sea. Ports are the choke points of the entire world economy. Whoever controls the most efficient ports controls the flow of goods. China isn't just building automated ports in Shanghai. They're exporting this technology worldwide through the Belt and Road Initiative. China is currently building or upgrading scores of ports in dozens of countries, from Pakistan to Greece to Peru. Many of these projects include automation technology developed at Yangshan. China is essentially creating a network of AI-powered ports around the world, all using Chinese technology, all potentially giving China unprecedented visibility into global trade flows. Think about what that means. If Chinese-built systems are running ports in Singapore, Athens, and Colombo, China can track shipping patterns, predict economic trends, and potentially control critical infrastructure in other countries. It's not just about moving containers, it's about data, leverage, and strategic positioning. And there's a technology race happening here too. The United States and Europe are watching Yangshan nervously. Western ports are years behind in automation. Los Angeles, America's busiest port, still relies heavily on human labor and older systems. During the pandemic, while ships waited weeks to unload in California, Yangshan kept operating at near normal capacity. China has created a blueprint that other countries will have to follow just to remain competitive. And China owns many of the key patents on the core automation technologies. But Yangshan isn't perfect. There are problems with this AI-powered future that China doesn't advertise. First, there's the fragility issue. Traditional ports are resilient because humans adapt. If equipment breaks, workers find workarounds. If systems fail, people keep moving cargo manually. At Yangshan, everything depends on the AI working perfectly. A major system failure could shut down the entire facility. A serious software glitch could halt operations for hours. That doesn't sound like much, but at a port moving billions of dollars worth of goods per week, even a few hours means hundreds of millions in cargo sitting still. ships waiting to dock, containers not reaching their destinations, supply chains disrupted across Asia. Second, there's the cybersecurity risk. An automated port is essentially a giant computer network, and networks can be hacked. Imagine the chaos if someone gained control of Yangshan's systems, rerouting cargo, causing crane collisions, or simply shutting everything down. China has invested heavily in cybersecurity, but the vulnerability is real and terrifying. Third, there's the question of adaptability. AI systems are brilliant at doing exactly what they're programmed to do, but they struggle with unexpected situations. In major storms and extreme weather events, human supervisors often have to override automated systems because the AI doesn't fully grasp context and risk the way people do. Humans understand nuance in ways machines still don't. And then there's the economic question. Is this actually profitable? China hasn't released detailed financial data, but industry analysts estimate it could take 15 to 20 years for the massive upfront investment to pay off. Traditional ports cost a fraction to build and become profitable much faster. China can afford to wait because this is strategic, not purely commercial, but most countries couldn't justify this kind of expense. Finally, there's the geopolitical tension. Other countries are growing wary of China's dominance in port automation. The United States has started blocking Chinese companies from bidding on American port contracts. Australia rejected a Chinese company's attempt to lease the port of Darwin. The European Union is reviewing security concerns around Chinese-built port infrastructure. Yangshan represents power, technological, economic, and strategic power, and that's making the rest of the world uncomfortable. Here's what Yangshan really represents. It's a glimpse into a future where AI doesn't just assist humans, it replaces them entirely in specific industries. China has already announced plans to automate many more ports in the coming years. Singapore, Rotterdam, and Hamburg are rushing to catch up. Some industry forecasts suggest that by the mid-2030s, a majority of the world's major ports could be predominantly automated. And this technology won't stay at ports. The same AI systems that run Yangshan are being adapted for warehouses, factories, and logistics networks. Amazon is testing similar automation. So is Maersk. The entire supply chain is heading toward a future where goods move from factory to doorstep with minimal human involvement. But there's a question nobody has really answered yet. What happens to the millions of people whose jobs disappear? Dock workers, truck drivers, warehouse staff, these are solid middle-class jobs, and they're evaporating faster than new jobs are being created. China's betting that automation will make them the dominant economic power of the 21st century. They might be right, but there's a cost to this efficiency that goes beyond dollars and cents. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Yangshan isn't an experiment anymore. It's the new standard. And every country that wants to compete in global trade will have to make the same choice China made. Build AI-powered infrastructure and displace workers, or fall behind economically and lose relevance. There's no going back. The question isn't whether this technology will spread. It already is. The question is whether the world is ready for what comes next. Because if China can automate a port this successfully, what else can they automate? What other industries are next? And when AI systems start running more and more of our critical infrastructure, who's really in control? The machines aren't coming. They're already here, and they're running one of the most important pieces of infrastructure on Earth with almost no human help. So what happens when they get even smarter? Let us know what you think in the comments section. We read every one of them. Now, if China can run an entire port with machines alone, wait until you see the ship they're building to run for decades without stopping. A cargo giant powered by nuclear technology. Watch next, China, to build a thorium-powered megaship that never shuts down. Click Watch Next.